Right, the Browns have shaken up their coaching staff in the past couple of days. We're going to start it off with talking about the firing of Mike Priefer. This was a disappointing year for the special teams unit. I mean, we don't really know what it would have been if Jakeem Grant didn't get hurt during training camp. But still, one of the recent issues, well, I mean, recent has only been in the league for 1 year, but Cade York's struggles as the season was progressing last year definitely did not help matters as far as the special team things goes. That's not really a good thing for a kicker that you spent a 4th-round pick on, and especially how he came into the league making that 58-yard field goal for the game winner against Carolina. You thought you were fine, but then as the season kept going along, he seemed to just get he almost seemed to be getting worse and worse, missing extra points, routine kicks, and it just didn't feel like it was working out there. There was also that botched onside kick recovery against the Jets that was part of them losing that game in week 2. Cade York also missing an extra point there to help contribute to that. So this following the firing of Joe Woods, so that's yet another piece of the playoff game winning team that is now gone, and rightfully so. They fired Joe, when they fired Joe Woods, that was also the right move as well. I'm not saying Mike Priefer should have been untouchable and they definitely deserve to keep his job, but it is just an indication of where the Browns have gone since that season that left many of us, myself included, with optimism for at least the coaching staff moving forward, that they had a competent group on their hands. 2 of the 3 of those guys are now gone, and I guess 2 of the 4, because Alex Van Pelt, I believe, is still the offensive coordinator. I'm not sure. I don't hear about him at all, so I kind of forget that he's there, to be quite honest. So the Browns, after firing their, Mike Priefer, they have hired, reportedly, Bubba Ventrone to fill the vacancy. I don't think they've made it officially official yet, but it's been reported by multiple outlets that, yeah, Bubba is coming back to Cleveland, as he was a Brown special teamer from the 2009 to 2012 season. He's been the special teams coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts for the past 5 years, and in 4 of those 5 years, he's had a top 10 unit, so he's built himself a nice little repertoire. He seemed to have been miffed at kind of the Jeff Saturday, interim head coaching stuff with Indy. I think there was rumblings that he kind of wanted to be at least a strong candidate for that job, for that interim job anyway, but it just kind of ended up going to Jeff Saturday, and he wasn't going to be a part of Shane Steichen's staff there. He was also given the title of assistant coach, which I find to be interesting. He does have head coaching aspirations, and with some of the fan base's dissatisfaction with Kevin Stefanski the past couple of years, maybe the fans wouldn't be, if things go sour again this year, maybe fans wouldn't be too against maybe seeing Bubba Ventrone, if the special teams unit has an uptick this year, then maybe fans wouldn't be so against the idea of Kevin Stefanski leaving the head coaching job for somebody else. I don't think it's a coincidence that firing Priefer was this close to Ventrone becoming relatively available. I don't think it was, I don't think they were going to necessarily have the outs on Mike Priefer from the offseason initially, but they found an upgrade that they liked, and they moved swiftly to get him. So good for Kevin Stefanski and the front office to get this hire. Hopefully, Bubba can tap into some of Cade York. We know Cade York can kick for distance, but hopefully he can discipline that a little bit and help him maybe get it in between the uprights a little bit more often, and hopefully keep him away from getting the yips as well. I do think that he had some rookie kicker nerves in some of those kicks later on in the season. The return men are still a little bit of a question mark, and I'll get to Jakeem Grant in a minute. But as far as people who actually returned kicks for the Browns last season, Jerome Ford did show some promise on kickoff returns in his rookie year, so it was a little encouraging. I don't think it's a sure thing quite yet, but he showed some flashes here and there. And also, I don't think Jonathan Peoples-Jones is that bad of an option to return punts. I don't think he's a grade A punt returner, but we did see him return one for the touchdown for 6 points last year. I don't think he's a terrible option. We've seen him have some nice punt returns before, so I wouldn't be I wouldn't be beside myself if the returners in week 1 for the next year for the Browns were Jerome Ford and Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think that would be just fine. Now, Jakeem Grant is still signed. He is still on the roster, I believe, for this next season and the one after, but we have no idea what he's going to look like coming back from that Achilles injury, and honestly, they might cut him in the offseason in order to open up some cap room. I think they can save a little more than $2 million if they do cut him with that post June 1st option. I think June 1st. I think it's not July, but anyway, the point is maybe they can save some money if they offload his contract in this offseason, and the Browns might go that route if they feel like now with the new coaching staff, the special teams unit is going to be fine. Again, Jerome Ford did show some promise, so maybe there's something to that there. But anyway, thank you all for watching this far into the video. If you did indeed make it, I will see you at the next one.